There's a certain political commentator class in this country that has a very strong idea about what a successful political leader should look like. And it's sort of channeling JFK, really. David Miliband was another example on the New Labour side. And yet, you know, he blew it, didn't he? So a lot of these guys are very fluent, very smart. They look the part. But actually, they're not very good at politics. And as your panel were discussing earlier, you know, Rishi Sunak has actually, on the substance of his campaign, he's run it like a complete novice. I'm not aware of him ever expressing a meaningful opinion on anything outside the economic portfolio. He's got nothing to say on culture. He came out allegedly as some kind of immigration hawk. That seemed incredibly empty to me. There were no substantive policies that were going to change anything. So it's a massive overhyping. And I think with Rishi, he's fallen for his own propaganda in the last few months. And to me, the key moment which marked him out as not being the person who would take over was at the beginning of February when Boris Johnson was on the ropes and Keir Starmer was incredibly nasty about Boris Johnson in the Commons, and Boris fired about one below the belt quip, which was about, you didn't prosecute Jimmy Savile. And rather than defending his own guy, Rishi went up and said, I wouldn't have said it.
I know.
Then he was inviting a comparison between Boris Johnson, Prime Minister, and what he'd be like. And I think he imagined he was about to become Prime Minister, and everything has gone wrong for him since then.
Well, absolutely, because he just forgot the members, didn't he? And look, he has been a snake for months and months and months, rather than doing the honourable thing like Lord Frost and deciding he disagreed with the government's policy position and resigned from cabinet like Frost did. He stayed in cabinet and started plotting his campaign. I think that's a very bad thing. But just back to the whole Trudeau-Macron comparison. The issue I have with Sunak, well, I have many issues, but one of the issues I have is that, to me, he just feels like a Davos globalist. And the issue that we've got now is that we need a Prime Minister that is going to be prepared to stand up to those organisations. You know, I don't want the World Health Organization, the World Economic Forum pulling the strings, and I have much more faith that Truss will stand up to those organisations than someone who is such a member of the elite and their group, really, like Sunak.
Yeah, I think, you know, his £90 sliders, his £3,000 suits, he is the archetypal Davos man, and you could see him becoming very easily absorbed into that milieu. You know, it came as a shock to some of us that he was holding a US green card, for example, during part of his time as Chancellor of the Exchequer, not setting aside his family's issues with his wife's non-dom status. I think the British people, the Conservative voting public, and particularly the Conservative membership, want someone, as you say, that is going to go and bat for Britain, is going to ruffle feathers, is, you know, potentially won't be as slick a communicator as Liz Truss has said. Not this yet another clone off the production line that's given us Macron, that's giving us Trudeau, and all the smart people wax lyrical about them, and yet they appear completely out of touch. So I think Rishi's been found out, and actually I think it's unravelling for him very badly this week in particular.